the work. This is the deal. This is the deal. Coming to this place. Let's get at it. Apollo Creed said before he fought the Russian, man, he said, "This is it, man."
Hello, everybody. Welcome. PowerUP Man, Man Cave. My name is Keith Withrow, and this is my man Gary Rambo. And we're here to talk about some issues that plague men today. Basically, we've come together and we've decided that somebody needed to discuss some of the things that men are plagued with today. Topics that don't get discussed, areas of discussion that are sensitive, that can really help some people. So today's topic is going to be about surviving divorce. Myself and Gary became really good friends based on this topic. We were both healing from a divorce scenario. We were both single. We had gone through a pretty tough divorce. And when we met, that was the one place and common ground that we had, and we bonded on this subject. So we figured that on our first video, we would discuss the one thing that brought us together, which helped us to develop PowerUP Man. Let's talk about some of the things that we went through. And again, we're not here to talk about who did what. We want to talk about what happened after the divorce and some of the emotions that men go through that people don't like to discuss.
That's right.
I went through a very tough divorce and an economic downturn at the same time. During the time of the economic downturn around 2008, 2009, my wife and I started to have our problems, which a lot of times, as everybody knows, sometimes economics has a major part in the breakdown of a relationship. If you already had some issues going on already, let the money get funny,
Definitely.
then you got more issues going on. So when all that compounded on some things that were not what they should be, that was the catalyst that took us out. So all I have to say is during that time, I had a double whammy because I had to deal with processing the divorce as well as my economic situation being in a tight spot, which led me in a good way to where I have no one to depend on. I had to get into my prayer life. And in that time, I felt myself getting closer to the Lord because I had nothing else to depend on at that time. So what I spent a lot of time doing is reading my word and doing a lot of praying and laying prostrate in front of the Lord. That's what I had to do to get through. I had no one to call other than my friends who were concerned about me, that were my good friends who could understand and would check on me and would speak with me and talk to me. But most of my time was spent with the Lord. And that's one of the ways I had to get through. And it actually enhanced me to become a better person because I had that time in which I depended 100% on Him.
Exactly. Yeah, for me, my process was similar in the fact that I needed to, I had to, depend on God, because what I did was I secluded myself.
Yeah.
I took some time. I went into my cave.
Yeah.
And I let the Lord heal me.
Yeah.
When I got divorced, I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna act out, because basically what we're dealing with is unresolved hurt.
Right.
That many brothers deal with all the time.
Yes.
Right, because the unresolved hurt, many times, brothers will go out and say, okay, well, I'm gonna just go sleep with a bunch of women.
Right.
And, deal with or at least not deal with my hurt in that way.
Yes.
Because it kind of, I guess in our society, we've been taught that, as men, that's what, it's kind of a normal thing to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Trying to get over that hurt, but you're really not.
Yes.
Kind of just digging a hole deeper for yourself.
Right. I
didn't want to do that to myself. So I through the process of getting a divorce, I took some time, got in my word, did a lot of study, a lot of prayer, but it was like At first, it was pretty tough, just being honest, because I mean, I would go to work and I could function.
Right.
But it was just, every day just got a little better.
Right.
As I spent more time with him and my, I had to purge.
Right.
I was, that was just, scream, holler, cry. I'm all by myself in my own place, all that stuff.
Right.
Let it out.
Right.
Purge it.
Yeah.
Let it out. And that's the thing. As men, we really don't, we're taught not to do that.
Right.
In my process, that's what I need to do.
Yes,
it helped me because I didn't want to carry it.
Right.
Because, everybody may be familiar with the song, by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, we're talking about bag men because
right.
carrying around them emotional bags.
That's right.
Baggage is just weighing you down.
Right.
Gotta get it off you.
That's right.
We gotta get it off us.
It's very important to get it off of you because what you don't want to do is slip into a place of depression. And what normally happens, you isolate first. And once you get isolated, depression will set in. So it's always good to have that one person that you can be real with. Exactly. And that's one of the things that we talk about most in this group is that, we take our mask off, meaning that we're focused on being transparent and having a good line of communication with our brothers that are in our group. And it's very important that you have that. That way you got somebody that you can talk to and someone whose ear is available and someone who you trust to listen. Because sometimes you don't need somebody to pass judgment or give you advice. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen, a good listener. And sometimes you need that wise advice in some areas as well. But what you want to do is you definitely want to stay out of a place of depression. Because, and this is a subject matter that we'll talk about later, because a lot of times once you get stuck into an area of depression, and that can lead to some suicidal thoughts or some more negative thoughts that can come about. And the one thing, when we talk about being depressed, a lot of people think about depression as a person that's sitting in a dark room or sitting somewhere and they just isolate themselves and they just, in a dark place and they're in the bed and don't want to get out of bed. That's not necessarily true. There's a lot of us that are walking around every day, and I find this a lot with men, that we are actually walking around in a depressed state and don't even know it. People are walking around, they're functioning, they're at work, they're playing ball, they're watching the game, they're doing everything that you would think a normal person would do, but they're in a depressed state. Yep. They've gone in a cave through some sort of an event, as in a divorce. That event can send you in a cave, and some guys never come out. So it's important that you always have that person that you can talk to, that you trust, that can help you get out of the cave. I had a couple of good friends that came by to check on me to see, what was going on with me. Because I've always been a guy who was kind of a trailblazer and on the move, and I always had good words of encouragement to a lot of people. But in this case, they could see that I was off, and they would come and check on me and see, hey, what's going on with you? Yeah. And it's just important to have that. So I mean, basically, what the whole deal is you have to have a good core base of somebody, of guys, or someone who you can trust. And now God will usually bless you with somebody. It may just be one person that you can talk to that can be that person that know that you're off and know that you're not your normal self, and come in and talk to you, or just have somebody to vent with. Yeah. So right. That's the one thing that I feel that most of the guys, I thought we needed to talk about this, because a lot of guys, you'll see, they'll go into a cave, and for the rest of their life, they can even remarry, but they never came out of the cave from that damage that happened from that separation. Because whether who did what in the relationship, that's not what we're here to talk about. Right. The finger pointing and all of that stuff. The one thing you have to do is know that it takes two to make something work, and it takes two for something not to work. And whether you take blame in yourself or the other person, it doesn't matter. The one thing you have to do is you have to forgive that person. And even more so, you have to forgive yourself. Yep. Because that's the one thing I never did until I had to I actually read somewhere where it was telling me that, you may forgive the other person, but I hadn't forgiven myself. Because in my life, I've always felt that I was a winner. And this is the one area that I figured that I had failed, or I felt that I had failed in. So it's not a failure. It was a breakdown in a relationship. However, it was an event, and you can move past that event, but you have to forgive yourself for what your part in it was. So that's one thing I really would like to convey to you guys out there who may be going through or have gone through a divorce. There's no real winner in that. Everybody comes out injured, and it takes time to heal, and it's a process. So that's some of the things we just want to talk about today, and it's okay, guys. I mean, we're taught, as Gary was saying earlier, we're taught to not show our emotion or not to show signs of weakness through talking about things like this. But you know what? It's okay, because you don't want to go in the cave and never come out, because you get cheated out of your life. You will never get the fullness of life and get the things that God has set aside for you if you're in that cave and you never come out. Come out of the cave, guys. Get somebody to talk to. Find your brother like my boy Gary to talk to.
Yeah.
This is my dog. That's just a little short snippet of some of the things we'll be talking about. Be looking forward to some real heavy duty subject matter coming out of the man cave. And always remember, man, power up.
Man, this is my Lambo. You know, show you how I became a millionaire and how I got a Lambo and a Bentley. I got all this money.
Let me show
I can
you how
show you
to
how
make
you can make $10,000 a day, man, right off your internet.
Exactly.
Right off the YouTube channel. Let me show you around my mansion, man. Here's some of my girls. Here's my new Lambo. Oh yeah, and I got my brand new Phantom drop head on order. Let me show you how you can do it with just a few quick minutes out of your day. No long courses to go through.